You've been doing the inner work. You have been taking the teachings of Neville Goddard seriously. And every day you are practicing living in the end and embodying the wish fulfilled. You are visualizing and affirming, and now everything feels weird, like time is bending and like people are shifting literally in your reality, and life even feels unfamiliar. You are not imagining it. You may have just collapsed a quantum timeline. So welcome in, family. I hope that y'all are all doing amazing. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lindsay, and I'm super excited for today's video because I want to give you 5 signs that you have collapsed a quantum timeline. And I love this stuff so much because it is so glitchy, and I have truly experienced every single one of these, and I really hope that it's something that y'all go through and can resonate with as well, because truly, like, once you activate your third eye, just everything changes and nothing ever goes back to the same. So let's talk about the first sign. The first sign that you have collapsed a quantum timeline is that people fall away without drama. Like, people just kind of fall out of your reality that are misaligned for you. They just kind of poof. It's bizarre and amazing and strange. So there's like no drama, there's no fight. They just kind of fade out. And this happens because you have shifted into a frequency that they no longer align with. And boy, family, did I experience this one. I mean, to a degree that was just so obvious. It was just really undeniable. And so just as a quick personal example, I live in a building that is very social and in a very toxic way, if you know what I mean. Just a lot of, gossiping and just partying really hard, and, things that I just was really surprised to discover when I got here. And I really don't fool with hardly any people. I mostly am a loner, and I really need my privacy. If I don't have privacy and my boundaries are constantly being, pushed on and trampled over, then it really starts to take a toll on my mental health. And so I went from, before I feel like I had collapsed a timeline myself, I went from, just really having my energy drained because I was having to just constantly say no to these people. My boundaries were just constantly getting, challenged, and just constantly running into them in the hallways and just everything. And it was just such a drain on my energy. And then out of nowhere, I think when the collapse fully solidified in the 3D for me, all of a sudden, it was like they just completely fell out of my reality. Like, I went from, it just being like a daily issue to now I almost never run into them or see them, and nothing has changed. They all still live here. Everybody's schedules are pretty much the same. Nothing has changed. And so it was a very obvious one for me. And so it's really easy to just organically, let that be and let it be natural, because it's usually the ones that do disturb your peace and they just kind of poof out of your reality. And then in the same token, new people start showing up in your reality that are now a match to your new frequency. And I experienced this as well too. Again, just a lot of things were still looking the same in the physical, but new people started showing up out of nowhere. And they were people that were actually a mirror to my energy, people that, we would immediately get into a conversation about being creators and about energy. And, normally I'm used to that being like a one-sided conversation, whereas, then I started experiencing people that were actually mirroring my energy. And so that was really, really cool. So let's move on to the second sign. The second sign is that you feel grief for a version of you that isn't dying. So you feel this deep emotion, but you can't explain why. And the reason is, and what I actually like to call timeline grief. And that really resonated for me, and why I called it that, because I was like, what is going on here? And then I eventually put two and two together, and I was like, oh, I think what this is timeline grief. And so your old self is dissolving, the one that tolerated less and doubted more and played small, right? And the key here, and the really beautiful thing to do here, is to honor him or her and thank him or her. And you also do this by not going back. The third sign is that your desires feel closer, but you are no longer chasing them. So this is the frequency of embodiment, right? So you're no longer begging the universe. You are becoming the version of you who already has it. Like that desperation is gone, it's dissolved, and there's peace in the pause. And you just feel different, right? And it's so cool because you can literally feel your manifestations in your energy. Like your intuition is picking up on it, and in a really peaceful way too, not that like frustration that we sometimes go through when we are reprogramming and manifesting, right? So that's the third sign. The fourth sign, and probably one of my favorites, I feel like I say this all the time, but I'm in love with synchronicity. It's just something that has just brought me so much joy and gratitude on a daily basis. And even though they've become so normalized for me now, it just never gets old. Angel numbers like literally stalk me on a daily basis, and it just never gets old. So that's the fourth sign, is that synchronicity increases. It's that 1111. It's angel numbers and dreams and songs and messages from people that you barely even speak to, sometimes, that will speak to exactly what it is that you are manifesting. And in your head, you'll be like, I can't even believe you just said that. So this is your new timeline bleeding through the veil. It is syncing up with you in real time. And the fifth sign that I want to give you is that you feel both calm and wildly uncertain. And this is the void. And I do want to be clear, though, that I think that the initial phases of the void do kind of bring its own challenges, and you experience maybe more of the grief and things like that. And I did make a recent video about that if you would like to check that out. But this is more about the calm and the peace after the storm, right? So you feel strangely calm, and you feel like something is ending, but you are okay with it, and yet your next step hasn't shown up yet. But this is how quantum collapse feels. You've jumped, you are mid-air, and your new timeline hasn't landed yet, and you have to let your new time land. And this is why it's so important to stay grounded during this time, by taking, small breaks from your phone if you can, and going out in nature, and even a 5 5-minute meditation is so helpful with this, you know. So again, you just have to let your new timeline land and practice grounding so that you get that sense while you are kind of mid-air. And the thing is you know, reality responds to who you to be, not what you beg for. And so again, if you are experiencing these signs, then know that your new timeline isn't coming, it's here. It's just that you haven't met it in the 3D yet. So I really hope that this video resonated, that it was helpful. I would love to hear about your unique experiences in this way. If you want to drop that in the comments for me, I'd love to hear from y'all. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And please know that I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so proud of you. I am always cheering for you, always rooting for you. And as always, I can't wait to see what you do.